Europeans have always had weird heads, not metaphorically, anatomically. We are not here to bully. We are here to document, because the bumpy, lopsided, elongated, pointy skull madness of the European head shape has always been a site of medical confusion, anthropological concern, and desperate aesthetic compensation. Let's talk phrenology, trepanation, and why half of 18th century France looked like the before photo of a cranioplasty ad. Long before the Enlightenment invented white supremacy, the actual skulls of Neolithic and Bronze Age Europeans were already looking suspect. Elongated crania in early Central Europe weren't aesthetic, they were nutritional deformities, malnourished, inbred, shaped by centuries of cranial trauma from poor birthing conditions. These were not gods of civilization. These were helmeted hobbits with soft spots well into adulthood. Europe has the highest rate of ancient trepanation, or drilling holes into the skull, in the world. Why? Not for ritual, not for medicine, just because they kept getting chronic head injuries, poor sanitation, high rates of intra-tribal violence, and repeated blows to the head from warfare and domestic accidents meant that they were constantly relieving brain pressure. Meanwhile, in Africa, in the Americas, cranial modification was intentional, aesthetic, and often spiritually symbolic. In Europe, emergency plumbing work on malformed noggins. In the 1800s, Europeans invented phrenology to measure intelligence and morality by head shape. Because their heads were so weird, they needed an excuse. Bumps equal genius. Slopes equal criminal. And guess who had the most advanced heads? The people who invented the scale. Convenient. Also, Swiss, German, and British skulls consistently tested as less symmetrical than West African ones. But they hid that data, of course. Massive powdered wigs, bonnets, crowns, and hats weren't just fashion. They were camouflage. Elongated foreheads, receding chins, sloping occipital bones. They knew what they were hiding. Go look at the portraits. Then Google craniosynostosis. The Habsburg jaw is famous, but what they don't tell you is the Habsburg skull was worse. Macrocephaly, misshapen mandibles, and prognathism weren't just cosmetic. They caused chewing and breathing problems. Their skulls were collapsing under the weight of powdered sugar and incest. Literal royalty, shaped like Minecraft mobs. Contemporary anthropologists quietly note European descended populations have higher rates of cranial asymmetry and susceptibility to head trauma than many global counterparts. Some of this is genetic. Some of this is from fragile bone density. Some of this is just karma. Africans practiced intentional cranial modification for cultural beauty. Maya and Inca elites developed aesthetic elongation for sacred status. Mangbetu skull shaping in Central Africa was a mark of elite status and cultural knowledge, not from trauma, not from accidents, from design. European head shape history is not just weird, it's pathological, rooted in malnutrition, trauma, inbreeding, and scientific delusion. Their obsession with skulls wasn't because theirs was superior. It was because they were obsessed with hiding how irregular they were. Europeans have always had weird heads, and science knows it. They just hope you never find out. Cope.